And like you said, you've seen it at some of those meetings, especially with getting baptized in the Holy Spirit and all that.
When we first left, I went through a really tough, probably about a week, because when I realized that the vast majority of what we had been taught for 17 years was false, my foundation crumbled. And I remember I went to bed, and I'm not a person who battles depression. I mean, that's not to say that I haven't had to been depressed over the years it's not something I typically battle. And I was more depressed than I can remember ever being. And I just went to bed and I just laid around for days. I was so devastated.
Yeah.
And by God's grace, he pulled me out of that pit, and and we rebuilt. But I think about the people who maybe do battle depression already, and they go through that, and I could very easily see how somebody would go through that experience and completely turn away from God. And I think
Hmm.
that's where our heart is we're seeing the absolute devastation that this false teaching is causing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's a huge thing.
And it's interesting because, and even people who are battling depression in these circles, it's like we God has given us wisdom in our medical field with counseling. Not that I'm proponent for let's automatically go out and get counseling tomorrow, but we have these means to help people, reevaluate, look for triggers, help self control, help those things that kind of get us out of control, help us to kind of refocus and come back to the real world. But when you're in these movements, it's all a devil, and you don't need any medication, and you don't need to go see anybody. You're just fighting,
Oh yeah.
spiritual things, and that have been in your family for years because your great 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 granddaddy, slept with this person who killed that person, and it's a generational
Generational
curse.
curse.
Yep, yep, yep.